So we have BISI from the Unrevealed channel.
Hi.
And TITI from Warrior Voices.
Hello.
And my co-host BOLADALE.
Hi people.
Thank you so much guys for being here with us. So we're just going to dive right into the episode. So faith, like what is faith to you and how important is faith to you as a believer?
Well, faith to me as a believer is really why I'm here, because if I don't believe, I cannot even be called a believer in the first place.
That's true.
And faith now is me believing in Jesus Christ, his death and his resurrection. Mm-hmm. So if I don't believe in Jesus and the fact that he died for my sins and the fact that he resurrected so that I can walk in newness of life, I won't be here. I can't even stand and say I'm a believer. So it's the fulcrum, or it's that which I'm standing on, that which my entire life is based on, that which I do my daily activities with. So that's what faith is to me.
So we agree that faith is very important, at least as a believer.
It is too important for a believer. In fact, if you don't believe, then you are not. You can't. They can't even call you a believer. It's not possible.
Well, that's fair enough, and I think everyone here is on board with that.
Definitely.
There's also there's this tricky part of the Bible, James 2:26, where they basically say faith without works is dead, and I think that's a really confusing part. A lot of people get it confused. So do you mean that it's by my works that I'm righteous, or do you mean I have to work for my faith? Do you get what I mean? It's just twisted. So a lot of people get it really twisted. So I loved if you guys could just shed some light.
Okay, so personally, right? So when I go to the Bible, I try to see what did they say before that, and not just carry that, right? So I went to James, and I think the preceding verse was like, as a human, as you need to breathe, so do you need faith. Faith without your works, your good works, is dead, right? So what I interpreted that to be is, so as a believer, right, I cannot just say, I have faith and I do not have good works to back that up. So it's not saying, so faith comes before my good works. Faith is the evidence of my good works. I cannot say that I have faith. There's also a part in the Bible that says, you cannot say that, you are a believer, you have faith, but a Christian comes to you and you have something that a Christian needs, and say, sorry, peace be with you. It is well with you. You should practice that good work. So it's not even practice, because it should come naturally with faith, because the person that you believe in is love. So you should exude love. You should exude good works. That's just how I see it. Basically, yeah.
Another aspect of that faith without works is dead is, I like to think about it as, so in a case where you say that you're trying to align your faith with God's will. So God basically reveals to you that, Ruth, you should start struggling Christians. Obviously, the process to starting that is work. Do you get it? There's something that has to be done. So I cannot just sit down and say, I have faith in God. God has told me that I'm going to start a Christian platform and not do anything. So that's how I always see that faith without works is dead. So it's like you have faith, although God would have given you some directions, I want to do this with my life, God, and then there's always feedback. This is how you go about it. This is what I want you to do. This is what I don't want you to do. So not putting those works into action is what or at least a sub-part to that faith without works is dead.
So I'd just like to add that the major parts, because I said I struggle with this verse because I feel like people have removed the faith part of it, and then you hear people saying heaven helps those who help themselves, and nowhere in the Bible does he say that, by the way.
Yes.
So it's like even, I just want to say that I believe faith is the foundation of every believer, and that the good works shouldn't be misconstrued to the extent that people feel like, I need to depend on myself, or because the Bible says faith without works is dead, because I act good or I appear good to other people, it means that yes, my faith is working. I think, like you said, it should exude if that's the word, naturally from you. It shouldn't be something you're constantly striving at, so because you want to prove to people or prove a point or something. So I think just hearing this, because I think I picked two things from this, something that should come out naturally, and that's because you're a Christian, it just comes out of you, and then when you get the word from God, and just like running the things and not expecting, sitting around waiting for. So
I also want to add something. I also think that you said something about, is it by us having faith that we are righteous, or is it by the works that we are righteous? Exactly. So even also I struggled with it, and I know a lot of people are struggling with it. The truth is that your faith, when you believed, was what made you righteous, in the sense that there was a declaration made on you when you believed. There was a declaration by Jesus saying that this one that just believed is now seen as righteous as I am. So that as I am, Jesus was one with no sin at all. So a Christian, when the person believes, is now declared as someone with no sin at all. But because you are now declared, you now have a new master, you now have a new Lord, you now have a new government over you. So because there's now that declaration of citizenship upon you, so you act as a citizen. That's where the works now follow. You now act as someone that is under that government. So the government says love your neighbor as yourself. You love your neighbor as yourself. So
that's the works.
Yes.
That's the works part. That makes so much sense. That's so much deeper than I've ever actually thought about it. That makes so much sense.
Thank God.
And obviously, like we do our guidelines. Like we have guidelines. We have the Bible. We have the Word in itself. So if you're not doing what the Word is asking you to do, you are not doing the works. I get that. I totally get that. So like another thing I would like us to talk about is like the challenge. So obviously a lot of people have challenges with faith. They have they either don't know what it is or don't really understand it. So when it comes to faith, what would you say is your biggest challenge with understanding it and living it as a believer in itself?
Okay, so I would say knowing what to do when I receive a word that I'm supposed to believe in. Now, that is something I'm even still learning on what to do. That's my challenge really. On what to do when you get a word from God. Okay, God says that I have blessed you with money, with prosperity. Well, your bank account, and there's nothing there. What do you now do at that point in time? So that's what it is.
I think everybody can relate to that one. Gosh. So, what about you, Titi? What would you say is your biggest challenge?
For me, so you know how the Bible says 1,000 years is like a day in the Lord's sight. So God has given you a word. You're running with it. But I mean, saying 1,000 years, I'm saying a day, right? And so for me, it's timing, right? I want it to manifest now. And if not now, can I see something? Right? So exactly, just give me something like so it's just so funny because they say, have a faith as small as a mustard seed would move mountains, and I'm like, so how do I measure this faith? You're saying a mustard. How do I measure a mustard seed? How do I know where I am actually operating in the faith that you expect me to? I mean, where's that mustard seed? Exactly. Because, I guess for me, it's just timing and understanding. Okay, I'm lost.
Okay, in terms of what the both of you have said, do you think maybe asking him, like asking the Holy Spirit, those specific things? Because one thing I've come to learn the hard way as a Christian, you see, I've learned so much that God wants to know. He wants to be involved, even in the things that you think are the tiniest and the silliest things. Like He wants to know. He wants to know your silliest thoughts. Yeah. Like if He's telling you to even do something and you think that thing is very silly, He wants to know. Yeah. And so a lot of times in my room, I'm sure sometimes my brother is always singing because I'm conversing with myself. At least that's the way it sounds. Almost asking, like, why? You have to do it. Like, why? Why does it have to be this way? Like, I don't understand, and I want to understand. But there's one thing though, is that sometimes I know that when you do ask God some questions, it's like it's either you don't get the answers either because He does not think you can handle that answer at that very moment, or maybe it's just best that you don't know. But my point is, I feel much better after asking him those things, and there's some sort of direction. And you know how you say that you want to know like how to measure your faith, like am I there, am I doing enough? You feel it, like when you actually confront him about these things. I think God is a confrontational God though. Like me, I don't know about any other person, but I think he likes it when I confront him. I feel at peace right after I've done that, and I just kind of feel like I'm not gonna say anything, but it's just that relief. I've had that conversation with him, and if he's going to give me the answer, or maybe it was a case that I was focusing on the wrong things, I just find the redirection somehow. About that. Okay, so just lastly and final question. I just would like to know, what kind of things do you guys apply faith to? Generally.
Answer that.
Okay, I'll go.
Okay.
So basically everything. If, for instance, I'm going into work and I need to speak to a colleague about something that has been uncomfortable, like the person has been making me uncomfortable, Lord, please give me the wisdom to speak to this person. Like you said, he cares about every single
Mundane thing.
and he has shown it like time and time again. Like even when I ask him for the little things, he will do it just to show that like there's nothing that I wouldn't do for you. Like I care about you in every way. And when he does it, I feel so you feel so special because it's like this little thing. You care enough to solve
so
it.
much to be there.
So it's everything though. If I need to speak to someone, if anything, literally anything, I'm not shy, but he knows everything, so I tell him everything anyway.
He'll be there.
And even as when we start on these little mundane things, then you can now start asking, God,
Exactly.
is it
You
this
feel
guy I
much
should
better.
marry? Is it this guy I should marry? Where should I work? It builds, because then you even get familiar with his voice and having faith and understanding faith.
Yeah. Oh, thank you so much, guys, for all of
Thank
this.
God.
Thank you for joining us. It's been an amazing conversation. I don't know about you guys, and I feel like I've learned so much more about faith. So much, guys, for joining us. I hope that you guys learned so much as I did. Please join us next month, and you can catch us. You can just subscribe down there on the subscribe button. So you can catch us here on YouTube. You can catch us on Facebook page, on our Instagram page. All of this would be in the description box down there. And you can always listen to any of our podcasts if you'd rather that. Thank you so much, and I'll see you next month. Bye-bye.